You all know my motto by now, keep it simple, stupid, and Heikin Ashi Candles are the simplest way to locate bottoms and tops. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome into today's video where I will be covering Heikin Ashi Candles and everything you need to know about them. These Heikin Ashi Candles are my number one tool for locating bottoms and tops on charts, as well as telling me when to exit charts that are in trends. Let's get into it. First things first, how do you get Heikin Ashi Candles on your TradingView chart? Right next to your time frames in the top left corner, you go to bar style, scroll down until you see Heikin Ashi. It's in the bottom tab. Go ahead and put a star on that to favorite it. Now you can easily swap between candlesticks and Heikin Ashis. Heikin Ashi candles do look a little odd at first, but I'm going to break them down in this video to make them super simple for you. As always, keep it simple, stupid. Let's get right into breaking down Heikin Ashi candles. Unlike typical candles where the wick tells you the high and low and the body tells you the open and close, the wick on Heikin Ashi candles actually tells you the volume or the strength of the volume coming in, and the body tells you how much direction or what the directional strength is that is coming in. So just for this example, the wick on this Heikin Ashi candle, that means that there is strong buying pressure coming in. Because the size of that body of the candle is about the same size as the wick, that means that the buying pressure that is coming in, the volume that's coming in, is directionally strong to the upside. If we take a look at just what continuation and pivot candles are, this is it. There's only two candles that you need to look out for. It's simple as that. Continuation candles only have the wick on top. Pivot candles on Heikin Ashi have wicks on both sides, and what those wicks on both sides tells you is that there's both buying pressure and selling pressure coming in. If there's both buying and selling pressure coming in, that is an indecision candle or a pivotal candle. And vice versa for red candles. If red candles only have wicks on the bottom, that means that there's strong selling pressure coming in and the candle's direction is going down. A pivot candle for red candles is a wick on both sides. Simple as that. So realistically, there's only three candles that you're looking out for in Heikin Ashi. First candle is at green. Is there a wick on the top? Okay, if there is, that's a directionally strong candle to the upside. Second candle, is it a red candle with a wick below it or a wick to the downside? If so, that is a directionally strong candle to the downside. And then the two pivot candles, green and red, if there's wicks on both sides, that means there's indecision in the market or indecision on that time frame. That means that the buyers and sellers at the moment are probably starting to pivot their positions or the chart is about to pivot. Simple as that. Three candles. Wicks on both sides means a pivot. Wick on the same side as that color. So if it's a red candle and the wick's to the downside, that means we're continuing down. If it's a green candle and the wick is to the upside, that means that we're continuing up. Simple as that. Now, how do we use Heikin Ashi candles in a real situation? How do we make a trade using them? How do we use them to our advantage? All you're looking for is three candles. That's it. That simple. You're looking for a continuation to the upside, you're looking for a pivot, or you're looking for a continuation to the downside. Simple as that. Taking a look at SPY from today, 9/12, SPY was relatively flat. If we're looking at regular candlesticks today, relatively flat. Okay, now we're getting a good continuation to the upside on probably after 12 to present. So the past hour and a half just about has been a continuation to the upside. Using Heikin Ashi candles, let's say we were in a trade at 11 o'clock. We got a wick on both sides of this green candle. That is a indecision candle. That means there is a pivot coming. You see right after we start pivoting down, down, down. Okay, there's another wick right here on both sides. Another wick on both sides. Another wick on both sides. Another one. 4 candles of indecision in a row. And then we finally got that green one. When you get a green candle in Heikin Ashi after having several red repeats in a row, that is a pivot to the upside. Once we got this candle with 2 wicks on both sides, that's a pivot candle to the upside. Look what happened. We went from 554.60 on SPY all the way up to 557.45. Along the way, we only got 3 candles that were indecision to the downside, but they were still green, so that means that there was still some buying pressure coming in, or the majority of that candle was buying pressure. All in all, we're only looking for Let me get my circle tool out here. We're only looking for this pivot right there, because that is a green candle coming after a series of red candles to the downside. Now we can start looking to get into longs. What do you see about these candles at 1250, 1255, 1 o'clock, and so on? They're all strong directional candles. Even this series of candles right here. These are all green candles with wicks on top. So that means that the direction is up and the volume is almost all up. These candles do have some really, really tiny wicks on the downside, which means there was some selling pressure, but all in all, upside buying pressure. And then what happened once we got to 1245? There's no wicks on the bottom of these candles, and they are nothing but upside, straight up. Now, real time as we're looking at this, we're starting to get an indecision candle right here. Based off what we know, what should happen on that candle? If this candle turns red, or the next one turns red, probably going to start pivoting back down. If the candle stays green and we get a series of more candles like this, probably going to push back up. Right now, because there's an indecision candle forming, you just wait it out. If anything, if you got into calls down here at 12, even got them at 1 o'clock, 1245, this would be a signal for you to get out of that position because there's no longer strictly buying pressure coming in. It's a mixture or an indecision candle, meaning that you could start to pivot to the downside. Now let's take a look at probably the largest pivot we've had so far this year, 9/11. SPY opened the day at about 550, 549, 550, pivoted all the way down to 540, and then from there pivoted all the way back up to 555 for a close. Crazy, crazy day yesterday. I actually caught the bottom at 540. If we were looking at regular candlesticks, looks like death. Looks like we were going to continue to die. Heikin Ashi, however, yes, all these candles were strong selling pressure down, strong selling pressure down, strong selling pressure down, strong selling pressure down. But wait, what's that? What's that I see? Oh my God, is that a pivot candle? Is that a pivotal candle right there? Yes, yes it is. Simple as that. Super easy to see, isn't it? You have a sea of red candles. Absolutely nothing but red candles coming in. And oh my God, we got a green pivotal candle. And then what happened after we got that candle? Holy smokes. We went from 540 all the way up to 555. Now I didn't hold it the entire way because we did get some reversal candles on the way up. But that was a bottom ad right there, and that was simply using Heikin Ashi. That's it. You could have had some significant levels. Sure, 540 was a significant level over here. All in all, just using Heikin Ashi, that's a bottom ad right there. That's a bottom snipe. Pivot back to the upside, just because that was an indecision green candle, meaning that we finally got some buying pressure coming in. The candle flipped. We had wicks on both sides, and then the next series of candles coming in, green candle, wick on top. Green candle, large wick on top. Green candle, even bigger wick on top. So what those three candles after that pivotal candle means is we had nothing but buying pressure coming in. There was no more selling. We got a pivot candle after a large downtrend, and then three strong buying pressure candles. Now, if you were in the position, you would have looked to close because of the two pivotal candles we got right here at 1120 and 1125. Or if you had waited for a red candle, you could have rode this trade from 540 all the way back up to 544. If you had just gotten into it and never looked at the chart again, you probably made yourself a millionaire yesterday. Good for you. Unfortunately, that's not how I trade, so that didn't happen. But can you see what I mean here? Once you get a pivotal candle, pretty easy to tell when the price action's switching. If I were to buy puts right at open on 9/11 yesterday, I would have had no sell indicator until this green pivotal candle, which works me into my next point. If I am in a swing trade or if I'm in a day trade, my spot to close that trade is when we get a pivotal candle on Heikin Ashi. Happens all the time on Tesla. Pull up Tesla's chart. Let's say yesterday I had swung calls. My exit on those calls would have been this red candle at 9:40. If we go to the day before, my exit on these calls would have been right at open because that's a pivotal candle. That's a green candle with wicks on both sides. Now, let's say I was trading something like Apple, and I wanted to know on Apple, when should I sell my puts today? Let's say I swung puts because I'm a psychopath. I just saw the biggest trend day to the upside. Huge wick on the daily candle. Really bullish going into today. And I'm going to swing puts. I was right. Where would my exit have been? Probably not at open because there's no pivotal candle there. The first pivot candle that we got was right at 10 o'clock. What happened after we got that pivot candle? Straight up. And then what happened after we got that pivot candle? A little bit of selling pressure, and then pretty much choppy. Sideways price action, several candles in a row with wicks on both sides, strong indecision, nothing you want to be a part of. Do you understand what the pivotal candles mean, though? It offers both a exit or a look for you to change direction and either switch from going long to short or short to long. Now, I wish there was a red example. There is no red pivotal candles on here, unfortunately. But really just taking a look at yesterday, you can see the power of Heikin Ashi Candles. 10:50, 11 o'clock pivot. First pivotal candle after an hour and a half of straight downside. And then after that pivotal candle, we had nothing but upside. Very few selling pressure candles that came in, and all the ones that were selling pressure had wicks on both sides, which meant the selling pressure was indecision, followed by a green candle with a large wick to the upside, several green candles with a large wick to the upside, buying pressure coming in, directionally strong, continuation to the upside. Heikin Ashi candles are quite literally as simple as that. You are looking for these three candles: a green candle with a wick to the upside, a red candle with a wick to the downside, or a pivot candle. Doesn't matter what color a pivot candle is. A pivot candle, no matter what, is indecision, selling pressure and buying pressure on the same candle. Indecisive, price action doesn't know where it wants to go. It's going to flip. Quite literally as easy as that. There is no overcomplicating it here. The easiest way to use this position, and what I have used these candles for, is just, hey, I swung puts overnight. I'm going to hold these puts until I see a pivotal candle. If I swung these calls overnight, I'm going to hold these calls until I see a pivotal candle to the downside. As simple as that. Go take a look on your charts, back test some Heikin Ashi candles. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. But that is it for the video today. Heikin Ashi candles are quite literally that simple. There's no overcomplicating them because there's only three things you're looking for. That's it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.